Go.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Okay.
Cool.
Busy.
Yeah, so I've got this version of me here is just kind of the camera for the time being. I would have liked to like change the avatar to like a GLB of a film camera or something, but it looks like it's I wanted to rename it too, but it looks like I couldn't.
Yeah, I've been looking into it as well. I actually wanted to be able to prep a room with different camera places or something, and maybe I can. It would be possible to write a custom client-side script or anything to set it up, but
Yeah, it would be interesting to have a custom room that had sort of like a little control center with multiple views that could maybe be used for like a streaming setup.
yeah,
Almost like a real broadcast.
exactly.
Did
Yeah,
they
cool.
fix the issue with the share screen when people accidentally move the screen?
I'm not sure. That was really weird. That's like the first time that was like a major issue of it getting like pulled off. Yeah, let me quickly adjust on my settings here. There we go. Yeah, I really want to submit a patch to or submit like a PR to hubs so I can like toggle fly and audio mode stuff from some kind of like hand menu or something like that. Just really inconvenient having to like completely exit immersive mode and then type /fly1 and then come back
It's
in.
insane.
Yeah. How's it going, Yinch?
Good. Zach, you made it.
Yep. Hello.
Oh yeah, hey Zach.
Hey.
Oh, and Yinch, this version of me over here is our stream camera.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Excellent. Good plan.
Yeah. I'll probably need to reposition them as the stream goes on, but
You can get into fly mode. What is that on a desktop?
yeah, it works on both. I just have to
Okay.
type the command in.
Okay. Type the command in. What
Yeah.
century is this?
You mean it's not just a voice command?
Well, you should be able to read your mind with a neural link and you just start flying, right?
Yeah.
We are back in the IRC channels.
Depends on how you're feeling. I saw you at your
Better.
COVID.
Yeah,
Good.
better. Thanks.
Excellent.
Okay. So I had a couple people that wanted to talk today. There's somebody who wanted to talk about like a sort of like immersive film type thing they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Undo Pancho, I think, was their name. I don't know if they are here though, so keep a lookout for them. Jin, you said you had something you wanted to talk about with everyone.
Yeah, if my dog stops barking.
Gotcha. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and then I guess we can start kicking things off. I was working earlier today, earlier today and last night on actually submitting a WebXR related patch to WebKit, which has been a fun process to like learn. Always fun getting like an entire browser engine tool chain working properly. It was really fun. I spent so many days on this just to do like the fix that I put in is literally just like these IDL attributes are not in alphabetical order. They should be in alphabetical order. Right. So I can just go through like this whole process, and then I finally get to do the patch. And I'm just like, okay, switch this line, 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 and then learning how to actually submit it to their version control thing, and then it runs all these like automated tests, and then people have to review it, and then send it to land the commit and all this fun stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It's once that lands, I'll have 2 WebXR I'll have landed WebXR related patches in 2 browser engines.
Okay,
It's
excellent.
pretty cool.
Jeez.
So now I just gotta get one in Chromium, gotta get one in Servo, and then I've I got them all. I think I'm out of browser engines at that point.
Next year, WebXR Developer of the Year.
What was that?
And then you'll be the next WebXR Developer of the Year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you will. I can't believe you aren't ready, to be honest.
I mean, I still got plenty of stuff left to like show off. I have a game I still need to get back to. At some point, I've got a painter that's gonna be almost back in like working order soon. It's like 2 PRs worth of work away, and one of them is almost ready too.
I was doing some A-frame this weekend and end of last week for a small AR project for a friend of mine, I guess. I guess it's a friend of mine. It must be a friend because I'm not doing it for money. So, but I was just using the ARJS tracker to put on a business card so a 3D model appears. So there's a QR code on one side of the business card, and it takes you to a AR page that if you show the image mark to it, shows a little animation of the UK, and that little like needles fall down to the location of all the members in the country. So so I was learning the animation system and A-frame and stuff. It's really neat. You can do a bunch of stuff really quite quickly.
Yeah, it's really nifty. Did you see Ada did that one tweet where she made a like an automatic holster item animation if you were to like let go of it?
Yes, yes, that was incredible.
That's super cool.
I don't know the event system very well yet, though. I wanted to do something, and I only agreed to do it because I said I could do it in a couple of hours, which is a bit crazy. It's not the first time I used it. I've used the A marker system before, but this is the first time I used the animation system. Oh, also, I had to work out how to convert longitude and latitudes into a grid system so I could get the Cartesian. So because I was provided the long lats of the members, where it turns out that those aren't square.
Yeah.
Anyway,
nope.
There was an API for it to convert it into a square grid.
I think we got enough people.
Was it your first time using A-frame?
Not quite the first time. I used A-frame I mean, it's the first time. It's the only big sort of thing I've done in the A-frame, which is to make for this business card thing. Because I generally use Wonderland for everything else.
All right, cool. Jin, if you want to go ahead and hop up on stage, I think we're about ready.
All right, let me know if you if my mic's good and all that. I'll do it. I got a presentation.
Yeah, you sound good from where I am.
Sounds good.
All right. Is it possible to pin this so nobody like accidentally flings it?
I remember we tried that last time. Oh, one sec. Come on. Get that.
Yeah, I've had trouble too. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember Matt mentioned that like pinning screen shares doesn't work for some reason.
I see. All right. Well, that's
Just
unfortunate.
strange.
Is someone
Yeah, nobody
streaming
try and
the?
touch it then.
Is someone streaming this on Twitch?
Yeah. If you look over here, this me is the stream camera right now.
Okay. What's the channel?
It's
share it.
twitch.tv/WebXR
Oh,
Discord.
God, that's
Oh,
excellent.
nice. Okay.
It's in chat. Is that public? Can I share that on Twitter?
Yeah, for sure.
I would love people to hang out here, but if they're afraid to join, they should at least watch.
Yeah, no, I remember there was at least one person that mentioned they would tune in to the Twitch stream if we did one. So
Yeah, I'm in there as well, and I've hosted as well. I'm not sure if anyone watches those, but
All right.
Nope,
Yeah, I
every
watch
bit counts.
occasionally.
Okay, cool. I think
Oh,
I am
no.
now ready. So, are we all
Oh
good?
no.
Are you doing it without the screen? Because it's gone.
Oh, well. Okay. Nobody touch the screen, please.
Yeah, that was an accident. Sorry.
Just hands off, the mouse,
Mhm.
basically.
Everyone point away from the screen.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Give me my
Hi.
quest.
So I'm going to present about hologram presentations, and this is something that I recently tweeted to the WebXR Twitter community. So if you caught a glimpse of that, you may know what I'm about to talk about. And basically, while I'm giving presentations in Mozilla Hubs, I'm also simultaneously got OBS set up in a way where I got OBS set up in a way where there's a template in which it is formatted for streaming / viewing on other sites such as YouTube and just to kind of give it a clean presentation. And what this enables us is a lot more kind of like polish when we create like presentation show and tells for distribution. Like I think content is going to be really important if we want more developers into our ecosystem. And so the way that we teach, we can dog food by like meeting up here virtually, but simultaneously we can also create really nice looking content that can be displayed on other sites that we can share links to. So once the next slide appears, I'll show you what I mean.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so basically with this presentation format, I'm running VTubing software, which enables virtual green screen. And I have my screen share also there, and I am able to spatialize that in a WebXR scene. And I will show you how I make that. So basically, if you have OBS, what you need to do is you need to just set up in the top source a UV background, and I'll show you why in a bit. But this is how it all looks, and I included a link basically, if you have your sources set up like this, you'll be able to do the same kind of format. And that is good in terms of consistency. If we wanted to, for example, do a VR conference in VR to be consistent and all that, I want to find a way where maybe not every speaker has to configure OBS like this. Maybe there's a camera crew that we could set this up also, but it's better quality and also good practice to just do this yourself. It's all using open source software anyways. And so this is what the background UV looks like, and you can download it from that URL as well as find links to everything that I'm talking about. And what everything here is so you've got in so what you have here is you can attach the logo of the conference event or maybe a POAP for what you're presenting about. Here's where you have your speaker, and here's where you have your presentation.
Is it just me, or can everybody else see what's on the slides?
It's really slow for me. Is it showing for you?
It's
I can
like
see
just a
it.
purple. I just see like a purple.
I can see it.
It's
Are you
weird.
on headset right now, or?
I'm on Firefox.
Huh. That's weird. It's showing up for me in Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
for
on
me on
Brave.
Quest too.
Maybe it's a Firefox issue, which would be ironic.
Yeah.
And once you have the videos, it just takes a one-liner of FFmpeg to split it into two different files, basically a WebM with an alpha channel for the speaker and a audio slash, well, actually the audio comes with the WebM too, and then a video for the speaker. And I have a demo that I've hosted up on GitHub. It is using JanusWeb, and you could fork it and insert your own videos if you wish. Once the next slide appears. And so it's using a photogrammetry set from a real life 3D conference center that was 3D scanned using Matterport. It was a sample file provided by Matterport, and I just grabbed a bunch. What I don't have here is this would be a really good place for the logo as well. So I'm going to work on that next. But yeah, we could, not only have really nice looking content on YouTube, but we can also have basically speaker tracks being done in virtual worlds in the browser. And this is what the code looks like. JanusWeb is using markup language, so it's very easy to read and mod, similar to A-Frame. And I've highlighted the parts in which that's the most important to look at for this kind of demo. I'll highlight, don't worry. So you basically replace the source files here and here, and this is where the magic happens for the transparent alpha WebM. And yeah, just make sure you look through this. It is hosted here. I'll share the link to the slides. And now what we're working on is a way to do this live. So while we're giving a presentation in one platform, we could stream it as a holographic presentation in other platforms. So it's kind of like virtual to virtual telepresence. And in a sec, I'll show you the next slide. This is what the current work in progress looks like from SM Sithlore, the lead dev of Anarchy Arcade, and he also does a lot of stuff with Play Canvas, and he's got it basically automatically keyed, and just from the YouTube video upload, working on a way to set up everything in a portable node, so can give presentations anywhere in Anarchy Arcade, which is built on Source Engine. And this can be easy to implement in any front end. As long as you have a way to key out the green screen, you should be good to go. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Very cool.
Any questions? All right, well, thanks
think we're good.
for listening.
Clean this up. Okay. Is Undo Pancho here by any chance?
I think I just saw them join.
Oh, did you?
I don't remember. That was Pog moment.
Yeah, it was. Maybe I'll send him a quick ping, I think, because I was really interested to hear more about their like film type project they were working on.
You could also talk about, I know Diego Marcos shared some stats on Moonrider. I think you mentioned that there were like 115,000 monthly VR users on Moonrider right now.
I saw that, yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah, and Horizon, I don't know if it's Horizon Worlds or Horizon Venues. I think it's Horizon Venues that has more people, which has 300,000 monthly users. That was reported in February, so last month. So it's kind of cool to see Moonrider as like a WebXR. It seems like a pretty good, WebXR success story there.
Yeah, crazy. Like he said it's still pulling those numbers like this many years after they first did it too.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, I think Pog Moment. What's the Quest monthly total? The Quest. So I think the estimate right now, I don't know what the monthly total is, but like in terms of total headsets, it's like 10 to 15 million Quest 2s out there in the wild. But like I think Diego was forgetting that like he said that there was no App Store visibility or promotion, but like the new tab page, I think as Mark who's in here would know for Concert Arcade gets, is pretty significant in driving, and also Yinch, who has a game in where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah. Like the new tab page certainly plays a big role in driving traffic. So and Moonrider is in the new tab page.
But then still, 300,000 is a lot.
300,000 was Horizon Venues and Worlds. That's what their monthly actives was. But for Moonrider,
that was not Moonrider.
No, that was Horizon Venues and Worlds. Like when Facebook announced their numbers or Meta, I'm just gonna keep calling them Facebook. It's the same thing because like when Facebook announced their numbers for Horizon Venues and Worlds last month, they said 300,000 monthly actives. And I've personally spent some time in both. And I'd say like Venues has more people in general. It's a simpler kind of world to navigate. And most of the people are from the States, from what I saw. I'd say like Venues has more events, more people.
Do you know what they're counting? Are they counting VR sessions?
Well,
I know in my analytics, I'm counting the actual VR sessions, not just visitors. In websites, it's normal to count visitors, but
yeah. Well, I'm guessing it's for Moonrider, it's VR sessions, and for I mean, Horizon Venues and Worlds, they're both VR apps, right? So, yeah. It's also, I guess it's also noteworthy to say that like, it's a bit of a shill, but Zest, I think anyone who's been using Zesty, it's made almost $10,000 in USD for any WebXR developer that's been using the Zesty SDK so far. So like there's money in WebXR, I think, like, and then like there are other like A-frame projects that are more NFT projects that have done millions of dollars in volume. It's not just like that one that comes to mind. That did like 4 million, but yeah, just keep talking about financial related successes.
Yeah, and there was that one we found a while ago, Desolate, and I was like browsing Twitter under like the WebVR keyword, because I guess in 2022 some people still call it WebVR, and I think that there's like another project that it says they're doing like WebVR stuff with like their NFT thing, but I can't actually find any demos about it, so hard to say what they're actually going to be doing, and it's also on this like separate chain, I think. But
Solana,
yeah.
or
it's not so. It's like I don't even remember. It started with like a E or something. It wasn't any one that I recognized.
Ecomi?
Nah, I'll have to look it up later. I'll send it to you. But more to that, on the subject of A-frame, did you see that link I posted in Cool Finds last night of this like Italian developer with 56 A-frame games on their website?
Yeah, I think I just saw that today.
Yeah, that volume is crazy.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, how many people actually are playing these games.
Yeah, it's because I found it from a YouTube video of somebody playing it, and I don't think they're the ones that own the site either. So they must have found it organically somehow. Like the website, he says he like offers like white label solutions for like web/mobile game type things, and you can the copyright's 2000 to 2021. You can definitely tell that it's like a site that was made in the early 2000s.
Yeah, so they've been around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like the example of their phone is like one of the early iPhones.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'll have to check out some of the games.
Yeah, they're all like I mentioned, they're all like very basic, kind of like like I said, like I don't, not to be like rude, but they really remind me of like some kind of shovelware type flash games and like mobile games, because it's like they're all these really basic just things. Like there's a match 3, there's like just keep a balloon going. It's like one of those games where you like click to match groups of different colors, and then that like switches the colors on the things around them. Just like very basic things like that. Yeah, like Miniclip.
Miniclip.
It's really cool. I missed. Well, I saw you post the link, but I didn't check it out yet. But it's really. It's well. It just you learn by creating, right? And so
Yeah.
if you just create games.
And from what I saw, they have like their own in-house creation tool too that seems to be built on A-frame. Because like all the games have that same interface. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at the code to see how it's built.
Yeah. He also even has like coil, like web monetization stuff in there. I saw when I was poking around the source.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to enable that with Oculus browser, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be very curious to get them like on the server and just kind of like hear what their like stuff is about, because clearly they must be doing okay if they've been doing this for like 20 plus years.
Or this is like their side thing, and they've got like revenue
Maybe,
coming in
yeah.
from other ways.
Yeah, it's not clear if it's more than one person. Like, there's only one name listed on there, and I don't think I saw any references to like team or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I think it's cool to see though that like there's more developers than SourceScoot and I know Diarmid and I know Zach, and like there's like all these, basically everyone here, and Yinch and Mark with Concert Arcade, and like everybody. Like I think the main problem right now is just like discovery and getting visibility for what you build. And there's various ways of doing that. Like when I had a conversation with Dave Hill and Jacob Rossi from Oculus Browser, but it didn't seem like they were that was something that they wanted to be so concerned about. I was like, hey, what are you guys thinking about discovery? And I think there was some pushback. It was like, why is that our responsibility? But like the thing is, like the main source of traffic for the any Oculus browser or like any WebXR game in the headset is from the new tab page. So I think they're kind of relying on the community to come up with solutions for like driving traffic, and then from there, monetization. So I wish the Oculus browser team was a bit more proactive and making it easier to submit things for the new tab page. So maybe we just need to, like, as a community, kind of figure out what the norm is and like how to, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I can sort of understand where Dave is coming from because he's like an engineer. So
Yeah,
maybe he
very
doesn't want to
engineering.
worry so much about like curating content and wants to focus more on just like actually like building and maintaining the browser itself. But I mean,
Yeah,
the new tab page is part of the browser, so like
it's a huge part. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I think Jacob was a bit more sympathetic. He was, I think he was more open to feedback, just around extensions and like web payments and discovery. Yeah, so he's the PM, so that makes sense for him to be more sympathetic to that. Yeah. Yeah, Dave is the engineering manager for Oculus Browser, and Jacob's the product manager. So that would make sense. But
it is it is a very difficult challenge to. I mean, how do people find web pages before Google?
Yeah.
You had to know, or you just like stumble across it.
Like your friend would
or
tell
you
you
had
about
those.
it.
I remember that you had those pages where you have all kinds of lists with links. But
Directory
if you
pages,
take that, and if you look at how that works in the Quest right now, you either go to the store or you stumble across it by opening the browser. And if you don't know anything about WebXR and that there is something like games in a browser, then why would you even open the browser?
Yeah.
If you have a Quest and you would look for a game, you go to the store. That's it. And if you happen to open the browser, you are on the new tab page. You see some games there. Oh wow! So you click, but there is nothing to get someone in to look further than that.
But you know what, SourceScoot? Like I think people with like the quality of games that are starting to come out for WebXR, like with Ski Fit and your shooters and like Concert Arcades, they release like a climber, like gym kind of thing. There's like the quality of games are just getting a lot better and better. I think people are going to start realizing that they're like, oh wow, it's like free games that I could be playing. I don't need to be paying $30, on the App Store for these games. And I think it'll just be like a problem of like retention. How do you keep people coming back to the browser? Especially now that there's a big UI change that happened with the Oculus Quest, or with the Quest, Meta Quest, where the browser is no longer like an icon. Jin, like the Oculus new tab page it's not a link. It's just like like you open up a new tab, like just open up a new tab, and that's the page that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think source code, like I think it's the tide is slowly starting to change, like towards like our favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
people are looking for free games. That's one
They are.
way they stumble across WebXR games.
Yeah.
They come across SideQuest with
Yeah.
free games or a different way to get games. But yeah, and they slowly grow into maybe big YouTubers on VR are presenting something about free games and mention WebXR games. But if you just buy a Quest without any technical knowledge, I'm not sure if you would even learn about any WebXR thing out there.
It's because people aren't searching for like WebXR specifically. They're just like, I think we talked about this before, like they're just searching for, they got a Quest, they don't want to pay, and they just want something free to play, and like that's kind of their frame of mind for those people.
I don't think we've done enough to tap into the influencer network, because I think the influencer network in VR is extremely powerful. People will not come looking for a game. Like we the new tab page and searches and it's all like drive-by footfall. Whereas when I always think about how for 2 years Among Us had like 800 monthly users, and then like one influencer, one Twitch user said this game's fantastic, and they crossed 1 million users 1 month. And so I think that we kind of make friends. Lots of people in the VR space don't know WebXR exists. They still don't know it exists. They said, what? You can play? They literally say, and these are like Steam users, and they'll go like, what? You can play VR in the browser? Is that possible? So they're like literally, and these are people who like review VR all the time, and even they don't know like WebXR exists. So I don't think we've necessarily like torn the top off that section yet, because I'm sure that these influencers like to be able to demonstrate stuff that their followers can try for themselves without having to buy it. So I think that's a natural fit. I don't know whether I'm always trying to scratch try to get Thrill Seeker to come and look at WebXR stuff a little while, but I don't.
Yeah,
He's
Nathy
busy.
too, right? Like we could probably like if we all band together and we're just like, hey Nathy, look at this, like just like bother him. I think like that could work, but
because I mean, like Cass and Cherry is the biggest channel that's done like any sort of web VR WebXR stuff, right? Still.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But we are seeing like YouTube videos of people playing, right, Daniel? Like we found that video. You found that video of like someone playing Boulder World.
Yeah.
It was like a YouTube video.
Yeah. It was like
okay. Yeah.
But I had to like seek it out too. Like that's the thing with a lot of these. Like the game, like that 56 A-frame games I found, I only found it like searching on YouTube WebXR sort by upload date, and it's from a channel and it's got like 3 views on it. And that's like I would have never found it like any other way.
Yeah.
Like it was so coincidental.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a, you have to go searching for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I think Thrill Seeker looking like there hasn't been like a WebXR social thing that's come out. I mean, we tried doing something with Haven, right?
Yeah, but
that kind of a thing. Technical challenges there.
But I mean, here's a question. I think that if it's social, right? We're talking about something like VR chat, right? We're not just talking about people. We're not talking like spatial I/O, right? People don't want to hang out in a meeting room. Is that right? Because things like Frame VR. I mean, the avatar thing is important. Is that true? Does Frame VR exist? Frame VR I/O exists, and you can do a bunch of stuff with it.
Great avatars, though.
No, it's got terrible avatars. But it did solve.
Platform.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that in terms of identifying why there isn't WebXR social chat yet, VR chat yet, then we got to see which are the players that have done like 80% of the work,
There kind of
and
is.
why
If you
they aren't
open
the
the
last
door,
20%.
like there's been, and it's open source. It's like ExoKit and Webverse solved the IK problem for custom avatars.
Yeah, but the
Right.
thing is, like, ExoKit is not trivial to integrate into your own app. Just from my own like experimentation, like it's kind of a process.
How long ago did you try?
Like a few months ago, I think I was messing around with it. It was sometime in 2021.
Got it. Yeah, it's. I mean, the repo is. I think.
Yeah,
from
like
20
the original repo is old, and even like digging out the Webaverse stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things baked in there that are still kind of specific
That's
to
what most of the
Webaverse.
users want, though. Like, and there's a lot of initiatives to componentize and templatize. Like more examples. It's like we could just take apart stuff and like remove things. Like just start out with like a mirror in a black grid world and custom avatars. Just like simplify a demo to show the power. Like that you can have self-hosted, private virtual social VR,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like another way to think about social that I think Construct Arcade's doing, and so is like any other game on Construct Arcade, like Source Boots and Ninja's games are like leaderboard, like public leaderboards. Maybe Mark can talk a bit more about how active like there is definitely a competitive element of trying to survive,
Actually,
in a world for so long. Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of want to put a short pause on things. So we've got Undo Pancho here, who wanted to give a talk on the project that they're working on. So if you want to go ahead and do that for us now, love to hear more about your project.
Hi, sure. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want to just move up to like the front over here.
Okay. So, hello. My name is Francisco Arle, and I'm an animator, and I did for my final thesis the first VR animated short film. And I wanted to use WebXR to like distribute it because I think like it's very accessible, and I like the compatibility with all headsets in the market, previous and maybe future headsets. Not only that, but I want it to be free and so everyone can see it. And most of all, I want to create like tools to to so everyone can make their own animated VR short film if they wish to. Kind of what Noodle is doing with their project. The only thing is I'm not a programmer. I'm just an animator. I just do art. So if you want, I can show you how the project is looking right now. It's an executable, and I want to port it to WebXR. And me and my partner did some testing in WebXR. And although you can see the short film, there's still some errors and things that we can't figure out because we don't know how actually WebXR works um, in Unity, using Unity. Um, so yeah, uh, I can show you the project, how it is right now. I can show you a version of the short film that is 2D right now. Is that okay?
Sure.
Please do.
Source Grid, you got a little bit of feedback going on.
Great.
No, I'd love to see it.
Great. Let me just open it up. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, here, let me actually, if you drag it up over to the screen, then it should.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
Somebody. Okay.
Sorry, that was me.
No worries, I can share again.
Oh.
I don't know how to use hats that much.
Yes.
Sorry.
Here, let me take that. So we just would push it all the way up here.
Oh, great.
All right. Oh,
No
jeez.
one else touch it.
Hold on. Oh my god. I don't know why it's freaking out like this.
A loophole.
Clearly.
Can I just make it bigger? Can I make the screen?
Here, let me try that actually.
Oh, great.
What? Oh my god. There's no way to like write the orientation on it once it gets tilted, which is very annoying.
Wait, can I try? Can I just try pushing it on the wall?
Yeah, try it again. I don't know if it's gonna like keep spazzing out.
Oh.
It's gone.
Okay, I sure again.
Yeah, one more time.
Wow.
Okay.
It's the future, guys. This is the future, guys.
Yeah. Welcome to the metaverse. Okay.
All right.
I've got this.
Gather around.
Let's try one more time.
Just push it. Can you just push it?
Let me try. I need to get it like stable. Nope.
That's interesting. All right, let's just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put it on the side.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't like automatically get physics also as soon as it gets like dropped.
Here we go. Got our own little big screen.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Let me hear if you can hear the audio. And
you might need to make sound effect with your mouth. Oh, there you
go. Hey Nar, could you move a little out of the way? Just for the stream camera.
Okay, so in the short film, you start in this star, and you can walk. Now there will be a cube that appears, which is the person. So in VR, you can walk around the cube. Well, oh no. Okay, so you'll see why we need a little bit of help. The audio desynced at times. That's because Unity did some weird stuff, but okay. So this is the short film. The idea is to have like a link where you can just enter and watch the short film without having to download anything. Um, so I think that's why WebXR is like the perfect place um, to do this kind of stuff. But yeah, what we need right now is people who are willing to help us with code to help solve errors with, for example, the Panthers WebXR export, and and then maybe if you know Unity, you can help us figure out all the menus and all that kind of stuff that we need. The short film right now is fully composed in Unity, but as you can see, because the FPS were low, because I'm running this on my laptop, not on my main computer, the audio desynced in some parts. So yeah, we will need to figure out like how to do um, in Unity to stream like the animations and video and audio to be fully synced, even though your FPS are low, for example. Um, and yeah, that's it. I hope you like it. And if you need to contact me, you can contact me via Discord. I am Mundo Pancho. I will, if you want, I will send a message if you want to reach me. And if not, okay. If you have any questions, you can ask away.
Do you have a YouTube version of this video? You show?
No, No, the idea is to distribute it fully in WebXR, not in YouTube, because I want the person to freely walk around the cube and
Of course.
to, like,
Yeah.
if you're watching in 2D, to use your mouse to move. And I think it's, although you can do this in YouTube, I think that I want to have a web page. I'm going to do a web page where you can just click, okay, I'm going to watch the video and here, and that's it. And then in WebXR you can choose, okay, I want to see it in VR, I want to watch it in 2D. So that's why I didn't distribute it anywhere.
How do you plan to find Quest or headset users? I know, like, I guess the main headset you're targeting is the Quest, but I
Yes.
also know there's like Pico and maybe not as many, but How do you plan on finding Quest users?
I got two friends right now who have Quest 2, so they can play test it for me. And not only that, once the short film is available, I wanted to send it in VR groups and to distribute it to have like publicity, so people can watch the short film
I was
in
gonna
their
say this
Quest
seems
2.
like a perfect candidate for like new tab page. Also, if like you can get it up and working in WebXR, like this would be perfect for it.
Yeah,
Great.
you could submit it there. The alternative, if that doesn't work, is Zesty. But yeah, I think
Okay.
if you could get it into a new tab page, that would get you like. Sorry, what I meant was like, how would you scale it to be seen by like hundreds of thousands of people?
Yeah, but mouth by mouth, just that.
Yeah.
I just want to contribute to the WebXR fundamentals because I think it's a very interesting project to enter, and I think projects like this may help get like a broader audience, you know, maybe or even developers. Um, so yeah, maybe someone will see this and say, okay, I want to do an animated short film. I can do it in VR using this functionality, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now the project we have like an alpha, if you can call if you want to call it that way, where we use just a Deep Panther WebXR. It's not finished, but if you enter in triplicatavr.com.ar slash version 03, I can just paste it here.
Yeah.
You can you can watch where we are right now, and you can see all the errors we have in our current build of WebXR. Um, yes. So in right now, we can figure out how to make it play on mobile because we get an error in all our testings. We searched online and we couldn't figure out what the problem was, what the problem is. Um, so yeah, we need help from someone who knows how to program basically in WebXR. We don't know the fundamentals. We barely know how to use Unity. So this is my first Unity project. I didn't know how to use Unity before doing this. I work in Maya. I work in Substance Painter. I work in Premiere, After Effects, all the stuff. But I have never done something like this before. And this was I did this as my final thesis. So yeah, in college.
I'm curious, how big are the assets for the film, like the models and animations and all that?
Let me check because, well, in my desktop build, it weighs around 813 megabytes.
Hmm.
Uh, but my WebXR build weighs around 200 megabytes.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it will take a little bit of time to load, um, but in
Yeah,
the
like
current build,
WebXR Unity builds, as the file size gets higher, tend to get a little dicier and more prone to errors. So that's definitely something that would need to be looked at. So that may even be what could be causing an error on a mobile. Because I remember I was working on a tilt brush port to WebXR called Silkbrush, and on Quest 2, I was getting memory errors because it was trying to allocate like too much memory to try and get like all the tilt brush stuff up and running. So it's possible that you may be running into a similar problem with that on like mobile devices, but I mean, I would have to like look at the errors myself to be sure of that.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to cooperate, you can just I can send you all the files you need. So if anyone is interested, just give me a call. I am in Discord. as Undo Pancho slash, I'm going to write it right here, 1642. This is my username. You can contact me via Discord if you want, or via email in @gmail.com. You can ask me for the files. I can send it to you. But yeah, I'm looking for WebXR developers to help to help port the project correctly. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's
Thank
a
you.
super cool project.
For sure. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Oh, are you on Twitter by chance?
Yes, I don't tweet that much, but yeah, I can send it to you.
Yes, there's actually a WebXR like Twitter community that
Oh.
SourceScoot and I also moderate, so could definitely post there too and get some extra exposure.
Sure.
I think Ruben has a question.
Yes, sure. That's great.
Testing 1, 2, 3. You guys can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Honestly, the question I have is not so much web related, but what I'm just curious about. First off, I assume that you created some short animation before or short movies, non-VR.
No, I didn't. This is my first like VR and animation project for college.
Honestly, because I have, actually my question was actually more or less for you. Basically, how much does VR add to you, to the experience, to create an animation like this? Like, what does the VR element add to you to an animated film?
You can like narrative. You can add a lot of narrative. I saw this as an opportunity to have like a script that combines theater, like play, and movies. Because if you watch it in VR, you will see that, for example, I break the first rule in theater rules that you can turn your back on the spectator. And this short film starts with the character giving his back to you, so you know you have to like walk around the cube and like see what's going on around you, for example. So you can't like do that in 2D. That's why I think that VR is very interesting for new narratives, because you're in there. You like add presence to the animated film, and not only that, animations look better in VR. That's a fact. Uh, um, look so much cooler. Um, so with less work, you can have like a better product and like do it like and add this layer of narrative that you can have on 2D. So yeah, that's the main reason why this project will not work if it wasn't for VR. So yeah, I tried giving a 2D version to my professors, and they they liked it, but they didn't like it as much as the other professors that watch it on VR. So I think that makes me think that I did well by doing it in VR.
Oh yeah, no, also for the record, it's also not really that I'm trying to be negative about it. You're challenging you, because I really like what I saw. It looked really cool,
Oh.
and I also really want to experience it myself. But I was also just curious about your thoughts on it, and I really hadn't considered the narrative aspect that you're adding to it. So that's just cool to know. Thanks for the answer.
No problem. Thank you for the question.
Hey, Daniel, if you have time, can I just quickly present a bit on Zesty?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What we have so far. Let me try to get this to work. Screen. Is it the entire screen? Oh, I can select the window. Okay. Let's see if this works.
See if it'll behave this time.
Yeah. Like that. Lol.
Oh.
Is it working?
Almost.
Correct. Okay. Well, should we just do like the same style as before?
Yeah, just like.
Can you see it? Like, is it displaying anything?
Yeah, I can see. I just kind of dragged it off. I think it's good now. Here, let me turn the stream bot back towards the stage. It's not a bot. I'm controlling it. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah. Okay. So, there's a couple of people who are here who are already familiar with Zesty. But essentially, what we've been doing is ever since I think like March 2020, we've been working with various other WebXR developers to figure out how to do monetization properly for WebXR. Initially, when we first started out, I think we had like the only we started out with like billboards, right? Just like putting, and I think Mark is very familiar with this, and so is like most people from the Construct Arcade team. And the idea was like, we'd be able to rent out billboard spaces inside WebXR to essentially like turn WebXR development and game development and app development into something like that was sustainable as a business from a consumer point of view. And so, yeah, WebXR, like kind of Barista Express here was like the very first banner that we placed. So we developed like an SDK for A-Frame that developers could integrate. And it wasn't as complex as the way that, it works today. But essentially today what people do is they mint an NFT, which I know people don't like NFTs here. I can explain why we went that route, but essentially people are able to get paid with crypto. And this is like pretty legitimate, not like no scam, no rug pull, no, I guess like, weird things going on here. But today, I think Barista Express, this might be a bigger estimate, but I think they've made more than $1,000. Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have made over, at least $900 in revenue, I think, from renting out this billboard space. What it looks like in the game is once it loads, it looks like this. Today it links out to an e-commerce shop called Rebuff Reality that sells like Oculus Quest accessories, and you can click into that. It'll link out to like a product gallery that Rebuff has made. This is interesting.
Oh well, they really revamped it since the last time I checked this out.
Okay, so sorry that's a bit loud, but essentially it's like a shop that it leads to, and people can buy, I guess, accessories. And I think a couple of months ago, added a feature where I think one of the main problems in WebXR was just around like data, like how popular are certain WebXR games, and with the permission of all the developers that are using Zesty and the SDK, we've been able to surface a lot of that data through beacons. What we call beacons, and what beacons do is they just collect the number of times that the SDK, our Zesty monetization SDK, has loaded inside the experience. So, Mark, let me know if you're uncomfortable with me sharing this, but it's public, so you kind of, I guess. Okay, cool. So in the past week, you can see that Barista Express has been visited a total of 8,000 times, and even I think just yesterday there's been leaked or 1,337 visits in this space. And there's, if you look across the market, you can see that, various people have decided to expose their data, and some people have decided not to. I think
source code you have with this one.
Yes.
And yeah, so like you can now, I think like this data has just been like missing from the WebXR space. You know, people are developing for, you know, the headset for the Quest browser, and we're just unaware of like how popular certain places are. And actually, source code, you've made some decent money off of this one. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
over $1,000. Pretty good. You can get a couple headsets with that. And yeah, so we initially started off with just like WebXR spaces, and a lot of these games you would recognize, and I hopefully would have played. And then we recently started adding Decentraland because, like, for us, like, it was just around like spaces, virtual spaces. You know, that was the idea here. And so, even though the thesis was just like around billboards, but you know, we thought we could place these anywhere. These guys have made, I think, almost $100. And you can actually see, like, you know, people are wondering, like, is Decentraland a popular place? This particular parcel is not popular at all, but you know, seven visits yesterday or something like that. You know, I think a lot of this data was just like hidden, but now we're slowly starting to surface some of it, and we've got, I guess, all the stats are around how much people are making is public. All the stats around which campaigns, you know, how many campaigns have been created is public, because it's all on chain. I think that's kind of the beauties of building on Polygon. So we paid out a total of $9,300 almost in USD to WebXR developers, and you know, through billboards. And I think we're going to start expanding beyond just, you know, advertising. That's a little bit dry. It's a very Web 2 thing. So we kind of made the point that it works here with billboards, but I think we can start expanding it to other various monetization capabilities, like, for example, virtual goods, which Construct Arcade is also experimenting with through their coins. And then we've had like a community come together to like help build out our docs, and we've got a lot of good guides on how to integrate for the web. We've got platform integrations for various other kind of stuff like Unity, CryptoVoxels, Decentraland, and Muse, which I kind of want to touch on really quickly. Muse has just been like this kind of cool no-code builder tool for anybody interested in building virtual spaces that are. This is also WebXR compatible. So let me just show you what they've got here. I'm almost done. Your no-code 3D virtual world builder tool for the web. They started out kind of getting product market fit with NFT gallery projects and like just NFT projects in general. Okay, we don't need to watch the video, but it lets you like create an account. Got some interesting vibes here. Sorry, my computer's lagging because I'm running multiple things at once. So yeah, they kind of focused on like the NFT creator, music and artists, and like 3D creators, fashion creators, and you can kind of go visit like some featured worlds. The great thing is that like all these worlds are built by people who don't know how to code. Just like you know, you don't need to know how to use A-frame to build this. Like this is a world called Fridge that we can kind of dive into. And so yeah, I mean, I guess the long and short here is that Zesty also has integrations for non-WebXR worlds, along with WebXR worlds, like with that are built with A-frame, Babylon, React through Fiber, 3JS, and Wonderland Engine. Yeah, and so I think like I think we've just been trying to prove that like, yes, it's possible to make money with WebXR. We're at the $10,000 mark almost, and I think just over time we've just been getting much more bullish, much more encouraged to see like people in this space actually be able to make money and build, bring put some cash inside WebXR developers' wallets and pockets. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the gist of the quick impromptu presentation. But I think like projects like Muse is very encouraging also because you know, I think it's been very. Do you guys sell a physical product or is it like virtual in-app currency? So what we're helping WebXR creators, WebXR developers sell is virtual billboard or banner spaces, right? That kind of act as portals. It touches on discovery a little bit. So you're kind of selling. If you look at the auctions that are happening, they're billboard spaces that are being sold for a day, you know, at different time periods. So like SourceScoot's got here, you know, there's a billboard space here that started yesterday, goes for one day, and you can book them. It's kind of like Airbnb. And the buyers of these spaces have been, you know, pretty diverse. This one's another Oculus Quest game. You know, so if you go to if you click on it, it'll redirect to the Quest store in the App Lab, and people can now buy, you know, App Lab developers can buy distribution basically and exposure. And like the one that I showed you before, this is an e-commerce store that sells, you know, VR accessories, and they get exposure, and you know, they get exposure to a couple 100,000 Quest users per month now, which was like before very difficult to do if you wanted to target Quest users with any other, you know, advertising channel. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, thanks guys for your time. I can. Yeah, I think we've just been like we've found like really great partners with Concert Arcade and Daniel on the team, and so M2 and SourceScoot and yeah, just a lot of folks have contributed and have been kind enough to use the product and create auctions and provide, you know, their own virtual space liquidity to the market. So yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, I think our. Oh, okay. Are you talking to Jonathan, Ginch?
Yeah, I have him on a Discord.
Oh yeah, he mentioned he wasn't able to make it today.
Yeah.
He's still in the US?
I think so.
Are you?
Yeah, I guess if he's not on a plane, he must still be there, right?
Yeah. No, I think like I'm super encouraged like by where WebXR is headed. Just like the amount of usage and visitors to like all the spaces. We just like sum up like all the beacon data that we have, and it's like over 250,000 like loads per month across like all the spaces that have integrated Zesty. You know, all of SourceScoot's games, and Concert Arcade's games, and Trees and his games. Just been super cool to see the growth, as well as like Muse. Like these guys have been hitting, you know, whoa, that's really loud. Sorry. These guys have been hitting like 80,000 visitors. I don't know how many of them. Most of them are coming from like mobile and desktop, but you know, they're fully WebXR compatible spaces that you can kind of browse through and see, you know, all this art. And you can buy, I guess. You can buy them now. I don't know where that directs to. I guess you can buy spaces or media sculptures. Yeah, definitely check out these guys. It's like they sell pictures of fridges.
Anyone with hands on their avatar is in a headset right now, Pog.
It's
So, like, over
only
here.
only you, I think.
Well, oh, not even Yinch. Wow.
I have to admit, it's sometimes way more relaxed to just sit down. It's 10:30 right here right now. It's just these to have a beer and just sit down and watch a screen and wear a headset all the time.
So the big breakthrough that we're waiting for is beer compatible VR headsets.
Yes.
Coffee compatible.
It's like one of those accessories. It's like the hat with like the two beer cans and then the tubes leading out. Yeah.
I mean, searching for your controllers while wearing a headset is always hard in itself. Imagine searching for your beer.
and you can't tilt. You can't tilt properly. I've been I've been 3D designing cups that work with the headset with like a, with a sliding top. It's like a closed top so that it's like a straw. Anyway, it's a complex problem with headsets. I guess it's okay on the Vive Flow, but most of the other headsets have a lot of nose. It's quite hard to get past.
Back to the subject. Well, it's really weird to have everything you make in money on your games or whatever being so public. And it feels weird, but for me, it's the first time ever, and I've been developing games ever since I started developing in 1992 or something. It's the first time I'm actually making some money and getting some. Yeah, I had one payout with Google Ads at some point, I think, but it's weird, and I think it's slowly. If people start to know that they actually can make money, there is physical money coming in on my bank account at some point in time, and yes, it has a bad name, the NFTs and crypto and but my wife thinks it's some kind of scam.
I mean, this is probably a good moment for me to just do a very, very small thing, which is I propose that we find new ways to talk about WebXR, NFTs, and crypto without mentioning any of those words. We just hide it. I mean, it'll still be NFTs and it'll still be blockchain underneath, but nobody needs to know. Like when people buy iTunes, and nobody knows it's MP3s with DRM on it. It's just iTunes, So we won't call it that. Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know.
Well,
That's
like
where
from
it's
like
going
just
and how it's going eventually.
Nobody
Nobody cares what it is. If your
like
do you know the protocols your bank is using to transfer money from one bank to the other? Do you know the protocols? No, probably
Swift.
not.
I think a lot of people know now because of Ukraine, but
yeah, nobody would have known if you'd asked them like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
But and then who cares if money goes in it? It has guys. If something goes from one place to the other and it works, it's fine. And if there is some technology behind it, who cares? And yes, you have to go through some hoops. I have to go through two different exchanges to get physical money because for some reason
Sorry about
the
that.
Dutch government decided not to work with Binance. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, it works. It's so cool. Is it okay to write a blog post about it? That's one question I was wondering.
Oh yes, please. You don't have to ask about that. You could just
No,
do it.
but
It's like
it is.
Yeah.
Since it's open in everything
It's totally
in
open.
the past, I've seen with and even still today, YouTubers making some money, Twitch streamers making some money. It's all hidden, and right now it's just all open, and that is for me it's new.
That's
Limo Feather, just to say, tomorrow morning. I was engaged to do a talk on the metaverse to telco. It's a remote. But um, I had to mention what are the potential revenue models of 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 the metaverse, like whether, and I use Zesty as an example of advertising as a revenue stream on in the
Oh,
metaverse.
thank you.
You list it alongside all the like supernatural and subscription
Oh
based
yeah.
models and like the all the you know NFT sales places and stuff, and then at the bottom of that, under advertising, you put Zesty Market. So you get a sudden surge of interest is because I talked to these guys.
Well, thank you. I hopefully, I mean, like, I think our goal is to kind of start moving beyond just advertising, because like most of the games that have integrated Zesty and are using us are free to play. And yes, advertising is one model for monetizing in this quote unquote metaverse, but I think we need better tooling to help developers actually create like virtual assets. And I
Okay,
know this is a problem that Construct Arcade is working on as well.
sure.
With their game Boulder Worlds, they've got gloves, and I think
Right.
gloves are a perfect because like we're talking about. I was talking with someone from the Zesty team named Wyatt. We were talking, and Daniel was, I think, in the conversation as well. And one thing in VR that wouldn't make as much sense to sell as much are like, I think like avatar clothing it makes sense, but like you don't see that as often in VR as you do like your hands. So like
Sure.
Boulder World, I think like nailed it with like making something that could be sold like as a glove or like as a watch
The,
in those climbing gyms. Yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing about wearables, I think, is that it becomes because we faced this same issue. Our first pass at designing like chargeable items for ski fit was to make ski suits, skis, gloves, and ski poles. And after
Yeah.
we took the game to the snow show, the national snow show in the UK, the feedback was that you can't see your own suit. So we basically
Yeah.
backed away from that. But it's only transient. But once it becomes multi-user, then then becomes valuable again. Once other people can see you, then it becomes a
Yeah.
different sort of thing, right? So, for the time being, we are mainly we're moving our chargeable cost to be accessing more ski courses. You can buy packs of 12 additional ski courses, and that's the thing that we're charging for. So we temporarily
Nice.
have moved from wearables and then onto like courses like maps, basically.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think like that makes a lot of sense. Um, and I think Source Code, like to your point about things being open, um, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I think a little bit uh, like if people know how big of a market it is, you might start getting more competitors. But like I think WebXR today is still so early that people who are in the space right now have such an advantage in actually like moving forward in the market. And like just thinking all about all this from first principles, like your space is valuable. Like there is inherent value to people playing your game, and essentially what Zesty is doing, we're just allowing you to capture some of that value and pocket a little bit of money from that. As inefficient as like creating these auctions might be, it's just I think we're just kind of one step closer to like making it much more efficient. But um, like yeah, your space is valuable because people are playing it, and that wall space, someone that like it's an object of it's a virtual asset that's desirable for a brand or someone else to want to be in, especially if they want to target Quest users. So like that's the market that we've been going after, and like there's other you know Oculus App Store apps that want those spaces now. Like they want to come, they're coming to us and they're saying like, hey, like we're not getting the exposure that we need from Facebook or Meta, and now after hearing that, there's hundreds of thousands of people actually playing these WebXR games per month, like those spaces become very valuable. And so at some point we're gonna have to start increasing the prices a little bit because is my audio cutting out?
Yeah, we hear you
Oh,
fine.
sorry.
It might
Okay.
be your connection. Rudy.
Like your spaces will be like, I think, much more valuable in the future because you're gonna have this like influx of app store developers that want to capture the Oculus Quest market. And so we've got like PokerStars VR, starting to come in, and like recognizable apps from the App Store and the Quest. They're going to come in and start asking to rent those spaces out because the eyeballs, they want the eyeballs there. And I think the kind of data that we've been collecting is super minimal. Our SDK is completely open source, so you know exactly what data is being collected. And I think just like the transparency is definitely needed over something like the way that Facebook might go about doing it, which is pretty black box, pretty closed, and not as accessible. So yeah, I think you should be like proud of the space that you've created, and of the experience that you've built, and of the people that are actually coming in and playing your games. So yeah. Yeah, we can link to
It's
the
weird.
spaces.
It feels like there's a loophole or some cheat mode or so that is activated. It's weird.
That's cool. Yeah.
It kind of feels unreal to me still that there's
Is this
actual
new?
people paying money to advertise in my little games I've made in my own spare time. Jin, you mean the link to that?
Back
Or-
to space. Yeah, I see now.
Yeah, and if you click on SourceScoot's wallet on Zesty, Jin, like you can see all of his other games that he's made. That he's made spaces for.
How's the Get Off My Lawn simulator game coming?
Yeah, I'm having some issues with my health actually. I had COVID a few weeks, months ago. I think it's already, but I'm still really tired in the evening and stuff. Normally, I would, when the kids are asleep, when my wife is asleep, I start coding, but I just I just stopped working, and it was worse. It was normally at 4 o'clock I was just done, and sometimes even before that I was just falling asleep behind my desk, literally during work. I was working and it was like a jet lag or something. I don't know if you ever had something like that where you just came back from out of the country and you just sit there and you fell asleep. I was having that, so I'm just having a really hard time to. I'm getting back into coding at night. But yeah, this game, I really think it's going to be a fun game, and it is it is coming at some point.
Yeah, definitely don't overwork yourself.
It looks great.
Oh, thanks. It is going to be. I have an item on the list to do for the Zesty ad, so there's going to be a Zesty ad in there as well. But yeah, it will take some time, and I have plans for the zombie game as well, and the farming game. I've been working on streams a year ago, I think. I've got some ideas on how to build that into a real game as well. So hopefully it's going to be at least these 3 games this year.
Nice.
That's huge for as being like a solo dev.
Well, yeah. The funny thing is, Get Off My Lawn is just. I was trying to do something for a YouTube video, which is probably not even going to be released. The video, it's not going to work. But the game is just I was an asset pack I was playing with, and just then the ball starts rolling and a game emerges, and it's fun. It's not shooting anything, actual killing anything. It's just like an old grumpy guy shooting with water. It's different, which is fun, I guess.
Like, I'm just curious. Like, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that Markiplier on his YouTube channel spent, I think, 10 episodes playing the jet washing game. He was like cleaning houses, cleaning dog houses, cleaning trucks, just jet washing for like hours and hours. And, there's something to be said for a game where you don't have to kill or shoot anybody.
Oh no, my headset.
Yeah.
Little Feather, you're saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, with like, because like SourceGood's already got like 3 games on the roadmap for this year. Like, I'm just curious, like, if you've ever thought of like scaling out yourself so that it's not just you working on it, but if you had some more resources to hire someone, or like, would you say like the market's just not there yet? Like,
Are you talking
or
to
like,
SourceGood or to me?
yeah, I mean, I guess both of you. Like, I know Yinch, you're like starting to grow out your team. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but SourceGood, because he's got like 3 games that he's working on. So,
Well, for me, it's just,
if you've ever,
just a hobby.
yeah,
A hobby.
it's a hobby. Okay.
Yeah. I've got a job. I'm building HoloLens apps in Unity, which is amazing to do. But and then at night I build my own little games, and that's I last week I had a presentation for a class in the US, and it was about how I became a developer, and I was preparing for that, looking back at how I started 30 years ago. And I started with little games, and that's what I like to do. And I don't think I could ever be a game developer full time. There is so much more that I need to do then that I don't have to do now, because it is just a hobby.
Right.
If I don't like a game I'm building, I just throw it apart away and I start something else. I don't have to worry too much if it's becoming my job, and I have to do that to provide for my whole family. It becomes a different thing.
That's true. Yeah, no, I can yeah, I guess like just a lot of stresses that come with needing to like rely on. Well, I think one, like the WebXR market, until the AR glass, like Apple releases their AR glasses, or until like the next version of Cambria, I mean, until we get to, I think, like headset adoption being at like over 25 million to like 50 million range, like it would be difficult of a market to try and get into. But hopefully, like that day, hopefully like it does become like enticing enough for you at some point to be like, oh wait, like if I don't do this, I'm missing out. But I totally understand like the pressure, I guess, of relying on WebXR to provide for your family. So
if at this point I would win the lottery or something, then I would probably quit my job and start building my own little games for a living, and I don't have to worry about releasing something and it
not succeeding or succeeding.
So SourceGood, how big a lottery would you need to win? Would you have to win the top prize? Because
no, but a couple of millions.
Couple of millions.
Only a couple.
I'm only 42, so.
Right. Okay, so we need to launch like a very successful NFT project for you, and then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me up here?
NFT projects. And
we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
If I would sell some of some NFTs like the big ones, then yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be NFTs. I mean, it could be something.
That's true. It could be like the real lottery.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
just
I wonder if I would still have the same amount of fun in doing it if I have to do it. If it's become my job. I mean, I was working with Silverlight in way
I remember.
many years
Yeah.
ago. So when that was a thing, I was
Yeah.
working with Silverlight, and I got job offers from Microsoft to go and work at Microsoft on Silverlight. But that's completely the opposite. I want to do work with Silverlight, not on Silverlight, and that's a whole different thing. And it's kind of the same with these little games. Right now, it's just something I do at the side and just create something. And but a question if I want to hire someone else, um, maybe if my games become bigger, and I need to have someone to create the graphics. But I love doing stuff in Blender. I've been learning Blender last year, but I'm having a um, I've worked as a 3D designer in the past. I like to do that. So yeah, I love to do that in my own games as well. And composing music, I've did that in the past as a hobby project. I'm playing music since I was 6 or something. I love creating music.
Same.
So I love to create that as well. And I'm already starting to buy things more and more right now because I don't have the time to create everything. But I love to do that. So if I would start a company and I will be the CEO and just saying, yeah, you have to build that, you have to build that, I won't be developing any games anymore. I don't think I can enjoy that.
No, it's true. You would have to retain the production side of it. I guess you could join a startup where you were the CTO and you could always continue to be part of the production team. Because if you're when a lot of small businesses, if you're a solo developer like me, I mean, I can say that as somebody who is depending on WebXR as my revenue stream, it's still fun to do. Okay, it's stressful, but it's still fun. All the moment you can be, people are blown away by the fact that stuff you can do in WebXR. They're so amazed that you can do things on the web. Everybody's so surprised, and they're amazed at how cheap a Quest headset and how powerful it is. Certainly working with Wonderland Engine. We've done things in Wonderland Engine that people thought were just impossible. They said that you just can't do that. And so it's very it's still quite what's the word, spiritually rewarding. I can't say that it is massively financially rewarding. It's all sustainable, but it's very, very early days. We're really only just at the tip of the iceberg in terms of what the WebXR will eventually do. But yes, I know what you mean about if you were a CEO of a company and you don't get to do the actual work. Because I have spent quite a lot of time around the business building stuff, and it's necessary. You can't not do it. There's nobody else to do it, but it's not as fun as the programming. The programming is the most fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that even at work, that's the thing. I don't want to be a manager. I want to write code.
You want to be an IC, like a contributor, individual contributor.
Yeah. I actually want to write. I'm not. Yeah, I can. The thinking about the architecture and of bigger projects. That's fun. But I don't want to be full time managing people. I just want to write code. That's what I
exactly.
Since I have my hands on a computer, I love to write code, and that's what I want to do. I pretty early on, I learned I want to do that for the rest of my life, and I don't have to pensions.
When did you start? I'm just curious. When did you start programming? How old were you when you started programming?
I was 12.
I was 12 too. But I was 12 earlier than you.
that could be. I don't know. We got our first PC at home when I was 12 in '92, which was pretty late, I think. And I found this little program called GW Basic on there.
Oh, GW Basic. Oh, wonderful.
And you can write programs in there, and then I was hooked. And I got a friend, and we were programming as well on the MSX, and my nephew had I think he had a Commodore 64, so we programmed there as well. But of all of them, I'm the only one that's still full-time programming.
I remember Scratch too.
I remember Scratch as well.
So I got my first home computer 10 years before then. So Scoot, I was on an Apple II. I programmed Apple Basic back when 60. You got the 48K was the standard memory, and you got the 64K expansion. You know that the 60 you could expand it up to 64K, and you know I wrote assembly language. So I'm almost exactly 10 years older than you, and I can tell 10 years later it's still fun. I still love programming. I've been programming for 40 years this year, I think. I would have been, and every day where I can do programming, it's still great. Anyway,
that's awesome.
I just started to walk back then. No, if it's yeah. My colleague is in the same thing. He started with way before I did. I was pretty late, but
you know that if you started programming when you're 12, I mean, how much earlier could you be, right? You just have to be older. You don't have to be any older.
Yeah,
I just like.
Well, it was a weird period that we had no internet. I would literally go on my little bike to the other side of town because there was a computer shop there, and they had their own BBS. And I would normally they don't sell floppy disks by one. Just they would only sell boxes. But I could, with my little money, I could buy only one floppy disk, and they would put me down at a computer there, and I could browse their BBS on that computer shop there, and download games and stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Hey Jin, you wanted
cool.
a hacker house or something. You have one here.
Yeah, just getting ingredient, just stocking up the fridge right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jin, can I ask whether you do your avatar stuff as your is it your main work, or do you have like a day job?
I don't really have a typical day job. Yeah, I contribute to DAOs, but I focus a lot now on avatars and all things like related to them, like wearables, animation. It gets into like pets and vehicles too, but
fantastic, right. Okay.
Yeah, I've just been working on community like processes and docs too, because it's going to take a village to solve these problems.
No, sure. There's a lot of stuff that's happening now, and trying to join people up. It's like the whole. It's the main thing we need to do at the moment. That people know each other out there, and I'm so glad that I came across here, because there's a lot of progress to be made in the avatar space for WebXR. I think that and it's really great that there's somebody like you around, keeping your eye on everything and making sure things happen in the right order and stuff. So I'd love to talk to you sometime when I'm past this bit of the demo. I've got a really busy period on, but I really would like to talk to you about an avatar creation tool for WebXR, so which is targeted for WebXR primarily.
Yeah. Hit me up, because I know some people that are interested in the same thing, and we can
fantastic.
Connect.
No, wonderful. That'd be really, really great. Anyway, that's all. I'm not pitching anything. I just want to talk to you. I just apologize for not having spoken to you yet, because it's just crazy at the moment. It's too busy. I say yes to too many things.
I totally understand. I feel you there. Yeah.
I don't know how. It's just you just. I find it hard not to try to help people. You just think, well, if I could try to explain to them how to do it, and then it'll take as long as doing it, and then you just end up doing it.
Just remember, like, the best way to scale oneself is through documentation.
Excellent. Yeah, it's true, because I learned A-frame through good documentation, so that's a useful learn. Excellent.
Yeah, that's really one of the goals for M3 is making better content and documentation for devs to see the bigger picture.
Okay, I got to drop out now. I got to start early
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay, it's
Right.
good to see everybody.
See you, Inch.
And nice to hear from everyone. And I'll see you guys on Discord. So bye for
I
now.
before you
Nice to
go,
talk
Jens,
to you.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed I enjoyed your updates on SkiFit. I saw you're adding some stuff here and there.
Yeah, just a little bits and pieces. There's another big chunk coming. We're going to be additional courses, like I was saying before, and the skiers who have been playtesting it say it's too easy, so the game's going to become slightly harder. I hope that's okay with everybody else. That's a trouble. One of the people who vetted, he like placed 12th in the Olympics at the Beijing Olympics a few weeks ago. So in the event, so he's like hardcore skier.
Yeah,
He
you
says,
can't, but you can't compare us to this guy.
It's true. I kept saying that we'll play test it your way, but honestly, I think it's gonna be too hard for normal people anyway.
Yeah,
but we're just
easy,
trying to step
medium,
up.
hard, Olympic.
Yeah,
just the level for him.
I mean, one thing that's really interesting about trying to create, about like retention and replayability is that all the ski courses, ski slopes in SkiFit 365 are procedurally generated at runtime. When you appear at the top of the course in the ski hut, then the mesh is being like the spline is generated in the half a second just as you're landing. So there is a seed system that allows us to produce like millions of courses, really. And so from the point of view of replayability, we don't have a problem with generating new courses. It's a matter of packaging it in a way that people are not overwhelmed by it and can still use it to compare and don't like devalue it because there's so many of it. So it's like a product management problem rather than a production problem in this particular case. But it's still a problem. We still have to solve it.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
It's the only way we can get big enough. That was the original vision, that we make sure that we don't have to spend days or months or days or weeks building new courses. We can just hit a number and out it pops.
Sure.
Anyway, bye for now.
Hey.
Nice to hear from everyone.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Bye.
Pause moment.
All right.
All right. I guess another successful M2 meetup in the books.
Yep, and this one's going to be on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think actually now that I've like done this, I only just now realized like a few minutes ago I should probably set up like one of those like restream things to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, I've been watching the Twitch all the time. There was no chat or anything, but it was really cool. It was cool that it's there.
Yeah, it's nice to have these like
about it,
on record.
It's yeah. I've been probably overthinking it.
Yeah, I think we overthink a lot of things. Like, just in general, even like just whether like sorry, I guess in context is like I think it's pretty clear that like we're past the point in WebXR where like, because 2 years ago we were getting like 15,000, like Barista Express, was getting like the total amount of traffic that we were seeing for stuff was in WebXR was like 15,000, 20,000 per month, and now we're at like 300,000 to like almost 400,000 per month, and it's like, okay, I think we could start to like think about like scaling out and and like educating the public a bit more on like how awesome WebXR is. And it's just like, I don't know, it's the scale has just like increased so much in the past 2 years that I'm just starting to see more developers like start building stuff, and it feels like it's starting to heat up a little bit, the space. And like, I don't know, like I'm just constantly thinking of ways like we can just like stick it up a notch. Like even like Decentraland, virtual worlds like that, like they got like 100,000 people visiting last week. So it seems like people are like really starting to warm up to the idea of like virtual spaces, and whether it's like visited with headsets or not. So like I think think that presents like real monetization, like ability, like potential, outside of like this little niche, like WebXR group. Like I think it's starting to become a little bit bigger than what we're all kind of imagining. Sorry, that's just me just ranting about the scale of everything right now. I don't know if you guys feel that, like source scale, like, do you feel like it's getting bigger, or like do you feel like it's kind of still too early?
Yeah.
Or...
It's getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely still growing. It's just like it's not exponential growth, you know.
It's really hard. I think it's really hard when you're in the exponential growth, like to notice.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like what is it that, you know, takes it to the next kind of, I guess, the next level. I do think like we do need digital, like virtual asset support, like just more virtual asset support in WebXR, that people can own. Like people are already like, right, Daniel, like the whole Desolate thing, and like you have like the Portals and project, and like there's a bunch of crypto projects that are like integrating A-Frame and saying like, oh, we're a metaverse project, and then we have all these people on the A-Frame side, or like the WebXR side, who are like clueless about that, like what's happening in the NFT space, but like not able to extract, kind of not able to take, not able to like monetize properly. So it's frustrating because like there's so much more talent on this side that's just not like leveraging it. So yeah. Anyways.
But the problem is that NFTs have such a bad name. If you watch TV or anything, and there's one of those talk shows, and it's going, there's some item about NFTs. It's they only talk about the few people that made that copied an image from someone else and made $1 million on it, or multiple millions on it. That's NFTs. People who understand the technology don't. They know better, but the broader audience just doesn't. It's
yeah, like it's
really
permeated the public
I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah,
I'm always yelling at the TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still see plenty of it on Twitter and, you know, everywhere else. So like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, if I could make 3.5 million on a single image, that's great. Yeah, but that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And
but like you're building worlds, right? You're building, I think like each of your games have a unique kind of IP, or like a brand about it that you can package into kind of player ownable digital content. So for example, like the guns that you've made for which game is it, like the zombie game,
House of the Dead.
Like those guns, I think if I could visualize your gun in something like OpenSea, right, and I could take, you know, if I were to just have like an OpenSea listing for one of those guns, there's an interesting cross network like pollination that happens, where people who are browsing through OpenSea will see your gun for your game, and they'll be like, huh, like it's like, you know, 0.1, it's like $100 gun, let's say, and then they'll be like, oh, what game is this used in? And so there's like a natural discovery that happens on OpenSea, which happens from like millions of people, right, browsing through these listings, looking for good deals. And then on the other side, people who are like actually native players of the game can realize, oh wait, like I like earned this gun by like beating a certain level, and I was rewarded this gun for, you know, getting through like level 10 or something like that, and now I can list it on this marketplace. So there's this interesting kind of cross network pollination that can happen between like headset users and OpenSea users that I think we're still not, you know, we haven't kind of cracked the nut on how to do that. If that makes sense.
I can imagine that for take World of Warcraft for example. I can imagine that there would be some kind of relic in the game you can own, and that would be something of an NFT that would be unique. And if you would find that relic, you own that relic, you have it, and you could sell it, and someone would pay money because it's a big game. But in my small little games, selling a gun for $100 would feel weird to me.
Yeah, but you're not. But source code, you wouldn't be the person that's saying this is $100, right? Like you would. What you would do is you would reward them. Like it's like, hey, congrats on like reaching, you know, level 10. Here is like the special gun which represents your accomplishment. Your, you know, like you're rewarding your players, and they feel great. Like as a player, I would feel, wow, like I've got something cool, you know, in my inventory, and then what they can do is they can, like, your players become the buyers and sellers. Like you're not the one that's pricing it. You can if you want to, but like you just give it to them for free. You mint it for them, so you don't have to feel like the guilt of like, oh my gosh, I sold them like $100 gun. Like, oh my gosh, like how do I, you know, you don't need to feel bad about that. But what happens is on the secondary market, right? These players can try to make money themselves by selling their gun to someone else. And how you would make money from that is you would, on every transaction that happens, you can take like 3%. So let's say it's if it is a $100 gun, you would make like $3 to $5 when someone sells their gun to someone else. And that's it. That's how you would monetize it. So you don't feel bad about it because it's someone else that's trading it, and you just happen to be the person who's in the middle, kind of like, oh, I guess you sold it to someone else. Here's like, I got 3% on the transaction, and that's the model.
So because I created that gun or relic or whatever, and someone else sells that relic, I can take 3%.
Yeah, it becomes like a royalty to you. So like, because you're the one who 3D designed this model, or you're the one who like created this gun, you'd be like, it would become like a music royalty. Like, you know, when you're an artist, you you know, you get money whenever your song gets played on the radio. Similar concept, like in the way that we're thinking about it, is like, so you wouldn't feel the guilt of like, oh my gosh, I sold it for, you know, it's $1,000 gun and I sold it. Like I feel bad. What if it sells for like what if it doesn't retain its value? You know, car dealers do it all the time to us. Like, you know, you go out and buy a car and it's like loses its 50% of its value like the next day. So it's kind of you don't feel the guilt of doing that, but like this is kind of the other monetization idea that that I've been thinking about for WebXR devs. It's like, how do you remove the guilt from like selling the digital asset in the primary market, and then but allow you to continue to monetize after the fact in secondary market sales. I think that could be a pretty interesting model.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking ahead. How would I create a gun that's the same for everyone, but still have some unique feature that is random to everyone?
Yeah.
So it will be interesting because everyone that reaches level 10 has to get that people play to get to level 10 to get that gun, and
Well,
only a few people can sell it, but everyone gets the gun. And if you get to level 20, you get a different gun.
right. I mean, you could always set a limit on the number of guns that are available. So like people become incentivized to come play your game up to level 10 as quickly as possible before everyone else, so that they can get your limited edition gun. So like you could mint, let's say, just start off with like, I don't know how many players you've seen on your leaderboards, but like for I think the survival game that Concert Arcade has, they've got like 250 people on their zombie. They've got like their do you know what game I'm talking about? They've got like a zombie game where like you're like running away, and it's like four. I'll try and find the name of the game, but like they've got like 250.
Yeah, I know what game you mean.
Yeah. So they've got 250 people on their leaderboard, and it's like, okay, you could have given out an NFT like a free gun upgrade to all the people that have achieved like level score 200 and above. And like the first I guess like 50 people to reach that mark, you would just give it to them, and everyone else after that wouldn't be able to get it. So it's like there's like a limited supply. That's what creates the scarcity element. That's what creates that's what gives it value. And like you don't have to give it to everyone that gets through level 10 for your game. You can just mint a certain amount, and then for level 20, now that a lot of people have kind of progressed to the next level, you can do it again, and again and again and again until you move on to your next game. After you've kind of like you feel like you've gotten bored of whatever concept that you're working on now. And I think that like WebXR actually has, like, for example, like most NFT projects, they only really have like 2,000 or 3,000 holders. Like it's actually very few number of people that actually drive a large amount of value to the total market cap of a certain NFT project. So like you don't need like the millions of people, like for certain, for most WebXR games to make it a multi-million-dollar success. I think like if you had 1,000 very devoted players for House of the Dead, it would very easily, I think, hit at least $500,000 in market cap, because each gun, let's say, is like, even if each gun was $100, right, or $50, let's say, and you had 1,000 players, that's already like $50,000 right there. If my math is right, yeah, that's already $50,000 worth of guns that you sold. Or it's the math just like multiplies very, very quickly.
Yeah, if it works, that's the hard part in that perspective. On OpenSea, for example, you have to use Ethereum. I've been looking into it. I've got a couple of images on OpenSea, which I just not started selling, because to start selling I have to invest some Ethereum, and just to get them on there I have to pay like 250 euros or something to start selling some images. I don't have that money available,
or we'll give it to you. Like if you want to mint something like on OpenSea for any of your games, just let us know, and we'll front the cost of minting, and like listing. Like we'll do it. Like, I'm also personally very curious. Like, just tell us, and we'll do it.
No, I've been
money shouldn't be like.
It's not for games. I was looking into it. I just created a generator in Python to do like
Oh, I see.
manga
I'm trying to
manga
make a
style. It's just yeah. Maybe
Oh,
with
nice.
guns it would be fun. That would be a different
No, I'm
thing.
just saying your games are like actually fun to play, and so like there's a lot of NFT projects that are going like, oh, we should make something in the metaverse space, and then they just like it's literally the A-frame template project. It's like if you look up desolate.space, it's literally an A-frame world template project that just lets people like place other pictures inside this world, and then they pick like different world themes, and it's like that's the generated NFT.
Yeah,
of the
imagine
world.
like the A-frame
Yeah.
environment component, and then there's just like some trees and stuff, and you can
Yeah.
place like pictures. And I think I saw one that had like triangles in it as like some kind of building primitive, and that was like the
Yeah.
extent of it.
Yeah, and imagine that project doing over $2 million in revenue in volume, right?
Like it's just I see that and I'm just like, why am I trying so hard?
Yeah.
And then
This
I
is what
remember
I
it's
mean by
because I have
we're
integrity.
overthinking. Well, I mean, okay, integrity is one of them, but like you see, but like
Yeah.
you have like I just think that the WebXR community like has way more talent, like way more skill, like way more higher quality, products out there that is undervalued compared to what we're seeing in the NFT metaverse space. So like if we can just say, hey, look, like I can very easily say, like, without feeling guilty about anything, say like you think this NFT project is worth like in the millions of dollars, like wait till you see, wait till you see like what the WebXR community is building. If this community launches anything out into the market, it's going to be very easy to eclipse the popularity and like the size of like everything else that the other communities are building. So yeah, so it's just sad. It's kind of sad that we're not there. But I think one problem has just been like Web3 wallet support and whatever.
Say that again. You got a little garbled there. Nope.
Oh,
I wish there was like an easier way to like reinstantiate a stream.
Yeah.
Kind of. But I'm sure that involves some like weird WebRTC magic that I don't understand.
There's just a little reset button.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that's what you want. It's just, everything that reset button does that is the problem.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my stuff got.
Yeah, you sound fine now.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like I see those projects, and then I see what people are building like on Construct Arcade and on like the spaces that are listed on Zesty, and it's like, damn, like we're underselling ourselves by a lot. I just think, or would you say, Daniel and Source Code, that like if it's because we have integrity that we're not doing that? Like, is that what it is?
Maybe. As I said, the amount of money I'm making right now already feels like cheating.
But it shouldn't. Like, it shouldn't. Like, what you're making is like like, okay, here's one way to think about it, Starsky. Like, because someone rented out your billboard space in, you know, in back to space, it actually gave VR workout, right? Like the VR workout guys, you know, they constantly rent out your spaces, right?
Yeah.
Every time they rent out your spaces, they get over like at least 40 to 50 downloads per day for their game. So you're giving them value. Like this is, I think
I know,
yeah.
I know that how it works. If they won't get anything back, they stop investing. They need to spend their money to get something back, and as long as they're giving something and get back more than they would put into it, that they would keep putting money into that, and somehow that works. But it still amazes me that it works, and yeah, I'm keeping track of everything. I'm actually with taxes and stuff. It's weird. um, it's yeah. Until what point it's a hobby.
Yeah, I mean that's the interesting part, right? Like, like how much do you start making when you say like, oh, this is no longer a hobby. It's like
Yeah, it's becoming a business.
Yeah, it's like a business. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, how long would it take until the government says, yeah, now you need to give your money to us, and then you can get to own a little bit.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's an amazing journey. We're at the start, I think. It's the beginning of something new, and some people understand what's going on. Most people still don't, but I think the people that are, I always think that you need to be in the right place, the right time to make money from something. If you were at the right place at the right time when the whole web thing started, you could have made millions on just a simple web domain, like broadcast.com or something. I don't know. If you would have that domain, you would be settled for the rest of your life. And we're at the same point right now with these kind of things, I think. We're just at the start. It's starting to go there. People want to have a metaverse. People want to have the next web thing, but it's not there yet. And we are just trying to figure it out how it is going to work. And some people invest and invest their money. Other people invest their time, helping each other out with balancing those kind of things. And we're slowly getting into it and growing, and we're all figuring it out. We're just discovering things.
Yeah. Yeah. But like stuff like virtual goods, you know, you know, selling virtual spaces and land, like it's not like a completely new thing, right? Like in 2017, you know, or 2018, Decentraland had their land sale. Like Sandbox had their land sale. Like I guess it's still new relative to, like, we're only like 5 years out from that. Or like even Fortnite, right? Like, and Roblox, right? Those platforms they do millions of dollars, or if not billions in sales of like digital things. And it's like, why are digital things valuable? It's just because like it's a meme and like people said that it's valuable, so like people pay for it. But like I think with headsets, like the reason why I think like virtual goods and XR makes it so well is because you can actually like hold on to something that is digital. So like your gun, like, or anything in any digital good in the space, like the fact that you can hold it and throw it around and it feels much more tangible. It becomes like the concept of value that you apply to physical things much more easily applies to digital things because of the fact that you can hold it. So, you know, I think and like WebXR is like it makes all of that very accessible. Like the puzzle pieces just like fit together, and like it's like we've realized that like yes, the puzzle pieces here, like when you put it this way, when you arrange it a certain way, like it just works and it looks right. And I think it's just going to take some time for other people to realize that same truth. That's like, oh, okay, but we can go out kind of like showing some of the answers to this puzzle piece, to this puzzle, and it just like it kind of accelerates the process of like, oh, okay, like it's like clicking in everyone else's heads, and then that's kind of when it goes mainstream and it catches on. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's still pretty early days, and not everyone is seeing the pieces fit together just yet. But I think it's happening. It's happening pretty soon. Everyone kind of like has their unique ways of getting to it. Like for me, it was through you guys and like the WebXR community. Like other people do it through like NFTs, and like metaverse projects like Decentraland or stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's pretty exciting where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that at some point in the near future, MetaMask or something would become available on the Quest. That would open up so much possibilities just to have your wallet, your crypto wallet attached to the browser.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, if I would buy an NFT gun, it wouldn't work on the Quest in the normal browser.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we were thinking was maybe potentially in building some sort of backend integration for Concert Arcade servers, so that they could be like custodians of the virtual good, and the account and the identity would just be linked with their Concert Arcade accounts, and but you'd be able to basically send your virtual good to like your MetaMask wallet on your computer. So like if you have like sourcegoot.eth, right, an ENS domain, I've got like limbofeather.eth and you've got zestymarket.eth. Like if we could just like send it to there, and so you didn't have to type out the address and everything, and then from there you could then like take it, wherever else you want to take that virtual good. I think that could work. Like, but we just need to like build out the backend integration with Concert Arcade, and like other WebXR platforms too, or we have our own thing that other people integrate with. So like we would build our own like virtual good custody service for WebXR, and the Oculus browser, or Wolvik or whatever, and then people can like integrate with that, like, and then you'd be able to basically like mint it to like on our custody service, and then we would be able to like Zesty would be able to help you as a dev, like basically help your own players manage their own virtual goods. Like that could be another interesting path to go down. And like there's people in the Zesty Discord that are talking about it, like in the Web3XR channel, of one, like how do you do wallets, but like I think this custody service like makes life a little bit more easier, rather than relying on other browsers to support our extension or MetaMask, a modified version of MetaMask. But I think we're gonna get there. I think it's yeah.
I'd like to think we'll see wider web extension support on like Wolvik in the near future. Because they're working on like browser engine backend like modularity at the moment. So being able to use like Gecko or WebKit or Servo or whatever else. So once they do that,
why do you do that? like, is that necessary? Is that like I maybe I'm
because
failing to understand.
they want to. I think they just want to make it so that it doesn't have to be tied to a single like rendering thing. Like they're not specifically tied to like Mozilla's old stuff, because Igalia does like work on multiple versions of WebKit, and they've like integrated it into it before. Then they like work on they've contributed like most of the WebXR like API implementation to WebKit. So I mean, it's just natural that if they're taking like stewardship of the like Wolvik like XR browser project, then like, you know, maybe at some point they'll like, yeah, they'll contribute stuff to Gecko too, but like getting something that they work on to work with this other project that they also work on, I mean, I feel like it just makes sense, and it makes it more appealing for other people that, you know, might want to adapt like the browser for like their own uses and use like different backends and all that stuff. But I think once they get that and they have the WebXR stuff working, it would be nice to maybe try and push them for web extension support, because I mean, if they can, I feel like we don't necessarily even need to be tied in still to like this, oh, you can only use these whitelisted like Firefox for Android plugins. Like at least giving the option for, you know, developer types to be able to download like the bundled extension and load it in like themselves. I feel like even that would be like a step up. Then, you know, to get MetaMask on, it's only like one extra step to add the extension compared to like your desktop experience of installation. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's possible. It's doable is like what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, right? Like before before Wolvik really catches on and they're like, oh shoot. Like,
yeah. And also browser development
know,
is hard. It's just really hard.
But they already block our pop-ups. They already started.
I mean, that's like that's inheriting like a Firefox behavior.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Firefox always did position themselves on like privacy, so you know they don't want. You know, pop-ups are the thing they try to prevent. Like, I get it, but
because like the other thing that, you know, I think we can start pushing for is like discovery through the Zesty banners. Like, you know, we can start giving people an idea of like, oh, these are other WebXR sites that you can be accessing. Because like the main discovery page, right, with the Oculus browser is like the new tab page. And if you're not on there, you don't really get discovered. And it's still like people are willing to like seek it out to find it. I think the Zesty billboards or the banners actually give people an idea of like, oh, these are other, oh, this is what WebXR is about. You know, I could go to muse.place and see, you know, a gallery, or I can, you know, I can go shop for, I don't know, like there's a WebXR compatible shop for VR accessories.
Man, I just had an interesting idea. What if like I don't know, because we've talked about web rings a bunch of times before. I'm imagining what if someone were to set up like a WebXR like web ring like service almost with, and making it just like stupidly easy for people to like create their own websites, like practically like a Wix style editor almost for it maybe, or giving some like, I guess if we're designing WebXR scenes, it'd probably be closer to like, you know, some kind of inspector or something like that, and just making it like so easy for people to, you know, add on things to like this web ring and have discoverability. And then I don't know, people who like manage it could sort of like also utilize SD to spread that out, and then you have like even more discoverability going on just inherently the way that like web rings work, and also like Zesty being able to reach out into these other like disconnected experiences from that. I don't know. I think that'd be a cool idea.
So you're saying it's a website that you would drive traffic through to using using Zesty. You'd have like a couple 100,000 people see it per month. But on the site, you're like suggesting other. Are you just like?
It would be like
like
the person, like the advertisements for it would be like promoting some aspect of like the whipping. So the site itself would need to have some sort of like inherent, I guess, appeal to it. But then like going to that site, then and this would be made even better with like traversal and navigation and all that. But then like the whole WebXR WebRing sort of interconnected worlds type thing, like source code. I don't know if have you ever heard of worlds.com?
No.
Worlds.com.
Yeah, it would say it's basically like a Second Life precursor, where like the way that it handled like navigation, like it was literally portals that you would just like step through and load into different things. It was a standalone client, of course, because it was like the late 90s, but
yeah, it's still online.
Yeah, shockingly, like it had a revival of like interest back a few years ago when YouTubers started making like videos about it because there's a spooky cult in it or something. But no, it's really interesting, honestly, when you like think about it and you like know that it's pre Second Life and that it's still like there's a lot of stuff that was made, lots of really cool stuff, and it all has that sort of like. It has that 90s internet feel,
Yeah, I like that idea. Even if it was just like, like Jesse Alton has like xrshowcase.xyz.
Yeah.
Just like something like, are you thinking something like that? Like where people can like
not just like a thing, like it would be somebody like advertising like their own world. But then you would also have like the secondary sort of like there are links out to other people's worlds in the web ring, just sort of like inherently, because it's how web rings work and all that. So like,
but how do you get that web ring? So like, how does the web ring? Because I was thinking like it'd be like Yahoo, like a Yahoo, but in like the old days when like Yahoo was just like it was like a portal site. Is that what you're saying, or maybe I don't understand what you're saying?
Not exactly. I mean, I don't really have much reference for the Yahoo thing because I never really experienced that, but
because okay, so it's someone else advertising their own world thing, like VR Land. It's like Arpu, who needs to get back to me because I keep telling him to like run campaigns on Zesty, but like it's like him advertising VR Land, but like inside VR Land, it links out to other things as well.
It would be somebody advertising their own world that is already part of like an interconnected series of other worlds that are in like the same ring.
Oh, okay. How do you go to these other worlds inside that world?
So I mean, today we would be stuck with sort of like the sort of like clunky navigation that we have at the moment, where you would like probably you would have to do some kind of interaction in world and then load back into
like
XR
or like Horizon Worlds.
I guess so, yeah, but it would basically be the same like process of like going from an A-frame world to an A-frame world.
I see.
Yeah, which is also like this is one of those things where we really need like some movement on navigation, because like I sat in on a W3C meeting even though I wasn't supposed to, but I did anyways. And like they had a pretty like lengthy conversation about like the considerations for navigation and like how to try to move forward on it, but also it just kind of seems like
they're stuck. Or
I wouldn't even say stuck. They it seems like they have like a more or less like somewhat solid plan to at least like start on it. Like I don't know, I would have to go back and look at the notes I took for it, but I mean, I don't know. I know that most of they all work like other jobs. Like Brandon works at he does other Chromium things, and like Rick does other Chromium things, and like they all Facebook things, yeah. But I don't know. It's frustrating to see that they like have a plan and then we just like don't see anything come from it. Because we've been talking about this for years. Like it's been in the community group for like immersive web community group since probably like 2019, I think.
We actually have enough content to like do something like this.
Yeah.
Like especially if you include like the Decentraland worlds too. Like, there's enough, I think, spatial web content out there for us to start grouping them and bunching them and creating some sort of portal for them. So,
and I mean, like Oculus browser even already has like a basic implementation of it in the browser already, like
of navigation.
Yeah, if you it's behind a flag basically. If you when you do the navigation, it basically just like swaps the window location and it puts you on like that black screen, like loading screen. You know, when you're like loading into like an intensive quest, like immersive experience or something like that, and then you show up in the thing. Yeah,
I think if it's behind a flag, it's a bit too early for. Like,
yeah, it's probably kind of like hacky. Like I think they just wanted to get like an initial implementation out there because what I remember from the meeting is that they were talking about they want to have like an actual interstitial environment like baked into the browser for the user to actually like be in as they're going between different worlds. And then there's the whole thing of like preventing a malicious actor from like tricking the user into moving things. So you need like hardware or like a user agent button that is like not accessible like within an immersive experience, but can still be read from like on a hardware level from like the browser and stuff like that. Which on Oculus we can do. Like we have the Oculus button, and we have two like software reserved buttons that you know XR experiences on the web can't touch it. So like it's just gonna have to come from like one of these browser like teams like deciding to move forward on it, I think, because like I don't know how much more spec work they need to do. I mean, I guess navigation doesn't even really have like a spec written up yet. I think it's just like they have the basic API sort of like imagined with like session granted and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I don't know. Might be worth someone poking at it again, but like I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath for anything to happen soon, but like it really should.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's enough I think there's enough content to do it. Like even just starting off like with the portal. I know the Towards Z guys were trying to do something.
Yeah, have you heard much from them in the past few months?
So I met up with Dodo when I was in Korea.
Oh really?
Yeah. And he is busy with like other things at the moment, but like he's working at a game company in Korea.
I see.
But I saw some activity on their site. Like so there's clearly like users kind of activity as in like activity of people joining their Discord and saying hi. So there's clearly something happening around people being able to discover the site without anybody prompting anything. So I think it's just kind of, it's still quiet, but they were able to aggregate, hearing an echo. They were able to like navigate. One sec. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, sorry, Scoot, your echo is a little loud.
My echo loud?
Yeah. You're just like echoing when we talk. And,
oh, that's weird. I'm wearing headphones and this.
That's weird.
Is it like is it an attached mic or is it like one of those gamer headphones with the flip down, or is it a separate mic?
No. I have a Blue Yeti. It's a real mic.
Interesting.
And I'm wearing headphones. It's weird that it's echoing through my But I was not.
Well, it's not anymore.
Didn't had the. No, I just focused back to the browser window. I was not watching the browser window. So that's odd.
Weird.
I think it's good now.
Yeah.
I think the browser might have done something.
Interesting. Yeah, like towards you guys, they've got something, and I think they're on the right track. They just haven't like gone all the way with it. So I actually think like Zesty is not a bad place to do that discovery as well, because we actually have a bit of traffic information, so you can like start doing the ranking of like the most popular sites. It's just not like we haven't integrated with like every single Decentraland space or immersive WebXR thing, and like it requires changes to be made on the developer side, and you don't want to do that. You just want to index all these spatial websites without developers needing to do anything about it. So I mean, you could probably start making like a data structure to represent all these sites, and kind of putting something together in a catalog, and then just calling it like a spatial web map or something, or like the people are trying to map out the metaverse stuff. So
like all my metaverse
yeah, but they've
map
made
thing.
zero progress. Yeah, they made zero progress.
They didn't even really like start. I feel like they were talking about like cooperating with all these other like I don't know companies or something, but like no one ever drafted like a prototype for how any of it was gonna look or anything. Like no one's just tacking on. I remember looking at the like issue discussion, and like the only person who even suggested like a metadata format was like Nova, and that was like months ago.
I mean, we could just start with the URL and then just like try and populate things around that. Like, there should definitely be a catalog for like all the spatial.
Yeah. I mean, like there's I think there's already like multiple sites trying to index things too. Like there's Towards Z, there's like I forget what it's called, like XR Collection, there's XR Swim, there's the Jesse's XR like showcase thing. There's my WebXR Awesome List. There's
WebXR World.
I know Brian did that like prototype of a like of a like search engine specifically for immersive experiences. I know somebody else is doing like a similar thing too. So like you've got like a bunch of efforts already of people trying to like index WebXR content sort of going on at the same time, but with like varying levels of like detail and like manual curation. I guess like most of these lists, aside from like Brian's, are all like manually curated things.
Oh yeah, Brian was trying to make. Oh yeah, he was trying to automate like a crawler or something like that.
Yeah, he was trying to do a crawler, and he was looking for A-frame things, and he found a lot of A-frame sites, but a lot of them were sites that were just using A-frame as like a 3D viewer or like NFT projects. They weren't even like VR experiences.
Right.
Which that it's these things are like hard to say. Like, how do you what is the best way to tell if a site has like a WebXR experience on it or not?
Right.
I don't know. I've played around with the idea of like collecting sort of these data streams. Before I made a thing that like pulls GitHub's search API to like see like new repos and stuff that get added. I'm imagining like maybe doing something like that and feeding in like Twitter and YouTube streams just to see like what is the most like recent thing that like just happened that like involves WebXR, and then maybe like I don't know. It would be interesting, or maybe doing some like Google Big Data sort of work. I don't know if they have like a data set that I could crawl for WebXR stuff, but I mean, I don't know.
I
I
think you
may.
can start small. Just like start with Construct Arcade's, all of Construct Arcade stuff, and then
Yeah, but I mean, like we
expand
know
out.
all of that already. Like,
We know it, but like others don't. Like we have so much knowledge, like just I think about the space inside our heads, because like we spend like all day thinking about it, but like it's that there's like a huge difference between what we know and what like other headset users know.
and then
So
even
I think
like
it's about
with all the stuff we know too, like I constantly find these sites of people who have been like making whole things with just absolutely no exposure, like that developer with 56 games, or the person that's like making these like medieval like history like educational things with like Unity. Like
yeah.
I have to like dig for it practically.
Yeah. Source Scoot. We'll create a bounty for you for if like we'll pay you to write a blog post about Zesty. I think we just need more blog posts and more content.
Well, yeah, but
If you're
it's
down.
it. No, you don't have to pay me. It's on my list for a while, actually. It's on my list to do for years, actually, to write a blog post how to make money with. But with Zesty, I think yeah, it's starting to get there, and I only do things I truly believe in. I get emails from people all the time with weird ideas. I have this great idea. You need to build it, and we get rich. Yeah, sure. Those emails I get all the time. I only do things I truly believe in. Oh, Limbo, further left.
Oh, rip. Connection must have crapped out again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're coming up on like 3 hours, so
Yeah. Oh man, I need to go to bed.
what time is it over there?
Yeah, it's almost midnight. I figured out what happened with the time zone thing.
Oh
by
yeah.
the way. Yeah, you went to daylight savings time probably 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other way around. You went to daylight saving time first, and I went second.
Huh.
So we are both off another hour from UTC right now.
Huh. And then in Discord
So-
just like isn't detecting it correctly, I guess.
Well, we are. So you are actually an hour late as well, or early.
Right.
I don't know. I'm always so confused with those kind of things.
Don't worry, we're
And
also always confused.
It's such. We either should do UTC, or just stop doing daylight saving time. It's a mess.
I mean, there's a bill that got like passed in the Senate recently that was just like, let's keep it right now, like an hour ahead permanently, and that passed unanimously.
Yeah, choose one and stick with it. Yeah. It's so much easier, and I'm a few. It will take me a few weeks to get used to changing the hour. It just every time so 2 times a year I'm a mess for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not the only one. And it's just by saving on candles. I think it's the official.
What suggestions do you need, Kushal?
Yes, sir. Actually, I am from India, sir. I'm working as a front-end developer from 6 years. Right. You are all experts in WebXR, and I'm new. Okay. So I want to switch career in WebXR. Okay. For that purpose, I thought I can do freelancing, and my wife can do as a she can create virtual tours. for architects and for builders, means for real estate. Okay. So is it a very good scope in this WebXR right now? And also, I yesterday asked Limbo Fida sir that how can I earn money. So he just suggested me to create a game where you can add advertisement, as he also explained in this today's meet. Okay, but I want to ask Source Code sir that what will be the thought process for creating any game. I cannot means I cannot. I'm confused to create how to create game if I want to put some ad in the game. This is my some questions.
I
So
think your audio is
could
the
you
best. I'm trying to
you said
understand
you're
the question.
confused how to make a game and you're trying to put what in the game?
Yes, means what will be the thought process for the same in the game while creating?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite catch that.
I want to say that what will be the thought process for creating a game, or where should I take reference or anything?
So like what is
How you should get? Sorry.
References.
the process for creating a
How-
game?
Yes, yes, right.
I see. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. A-frame on its own lets you build out the scene fairly easily, but when you want to get into any sort of custom game logic, then that's when you need to know some JavaScript scripting and how to interact with A-frame's API. I'm trying to think if there are any good starter examples on how to like do interactivity with A-frame. Do you know anything off the top of your head, SourceCute? Because I know the docs like cover sort of like just generally how to like it's a good API reference, but I don't know if it has any like good tutorials on how to like make something.
And there was A-frame school, I think, which took you basically through the whole process on A-frame.
I think
And that
I think there's one or two YouTubers I've seen that like have some videos of them making things in A-frame also.
Yes, I know A-frames. Okay, I study A-frame and I also created my portfolio. Also have my scene. I have shared the link with you. Okay, and also the JavaScript because I am also working with JavaScript from 2 to 3 years. Just I don't know the thought process or process for creating games.
I mean,
The source code, sir.
is there
Yes,
a
sir.
particular game idea that you have in mind that you would want to make first?
Yes, means yesterday I have seen one tutorial of endless runner game that I have seen and working on the same. But I searched it on Google and I got that link. Okay, but I'm trying to think that what should be I do while creating game that it cannot come in my mind. Okay, I need to search on the internet for that purpose. I also thought that we can check for any 2D games and we can convert those games in WebXR. Is it a right way to do that?
I'm really sorry. I have a really hard time with the audio.
I think if
Sorry,
you
sir.
Just
I'm audible.
just to understand the question.
I think if you could write down your questions, it would be easier for Source Group to be able to answer you.
Yes, yes. I want to say that uh, I have seen the one game that Endless Runner. Okay, I have seen that game. It's tutorial. Okay, on and I'm working on the same. Okay, but this is the thing I have searched on internet. Okay, but if I want to build something new, okay, so what will be the thought process for that? Okay,
So
that is a question of mine.
so creating like a new like idea for a game.
Yes, 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 right.
Okay. So just a general game design sort of question then. I mean, generally when you like go about making new games, you when I try to work on things, I just try to figure out one specific idea that I find interesting. So, for example, I'm working on a game right now that focuses mostly on sort of exploring an environment and then like learn and getting a story from like searching that environment. So I think, okay, I want a game that this seems cool. I want to tell a story with this game. So, what kind of mechanics serve a story focused game? So, I need to be able to move. So, I need to implement basic locomotion systems. I need to figure out how I want to tell the story within the game. So, for this one, for example, you're in like the inside of a tomb
And
or like
yes,
something.
sir.
And so you go around. So,
And yes,
like,
sir.
sorry, what was that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please
Yes. So,
continue.
and then so I'm like, what could be an interesting way to learn new elements of the story as I walk around? So maybe there are things on the wall that sort of tell the story, but maybe you need to do some kind of puzzle or interact with something in order to like be able to get that like part of the story out. So then that gives you more ideas. Maybe you want to add puzzles or you want to maybe keep it to a more basic sort of interaction. So once you like start figuring out what you might want in order to like get, flesh out your idea, then you can start prototyping. You can be like, okay, I'm going to make an object, and then when you interact with that object, it does something to this object, and then that will like give you some of the story. And then you can figure out, okay, so where do I can put sound here when this happens, or I can do other stuff like that. And then you get more ideas as you sort of start building, but you want to have an idea that is already interesting to you, and then figure out how can I make this interesting for other people to also experience if they were to come and play this game.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And one last question. Is there any freelancing opportunity for this field right now? So much.
Say that one more time. Something about freelancing.
Is is there are so many opportunities in WebXR freelancing?
I So every now and again, people will post on the server for opportunities. I do see some posts on sites like Upwork and sort of other things like that. I haven't done much freelancing myself, so I've only like seen these in passing. But I know people are out there looking for some WebXR freelancing. I just don't know exactly what the volume is right now.
Oh, okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
No, there is a channel in the Discord where you can post requests, or I think there's a jobs channel.
Yeah, right now it's sort of
But
serving as like a job request or like available for like work sort of thing
yeah, or spam.
or spam.
Java Quest.
But you can, yes, if you I was looking for the channel. Jobs. It's in the under the discussion group. There's jobs. If you look for someone, feel free to ask a question there. Maybe someone will read it and say, well, this is something I'd like to work on.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
You're welcome.
Sir, this is my portfolio link. You might have seen. I have posted so many times.
Yeah, I think I have seen your portfolio
Yes,
site
yes, sir.
actually.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're over the 3-hour mark. I'm gonna say let's go ahead and wrap things up for today, so I can upload this to YouTube.
Yeah, I need to get up really early tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I need to get a few hours of sleep.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Nice talking to you all again.
Yep. Nice talking to you.
Limbo Feather, we should continue talking to each other at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I'm on Discord just all the time. Send me a message and we can.
We need to. I even think we need to schedule something or something to just keep on chatting.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a weekly or bi-weekly thing. I'll let you go to sleep tonight, but maybe sometime this week we can catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome.
It was nice talking to you all.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
See ya.
Bye bye.